Hello, everybody. I am here live now. And how many of you are ready to get this time party started? This is another Health Talk with Dr. Luella Ayoka. This is by popular demand. So I said, hey, I'll roll with it. I hope you can hear me and I hope you can see me well. Trying to work on the lighting and stuff. So it'll get better over time. It will get better over time. So let's see here. I am going to check out some things here. Wait and see. Hold on. So, we got another health talk we're talking about Black history. And I actually had a question, actually two questions. One was because I had talked about before, of course, I talked about diabetes. And we were talking about type 1 versus type 2. I'm going to see if I can actually get that question because I wanted to address that. I thought that was good. And I'm sorry, good evening. I'm Dr. Luella Ayoka, and this is My Medical Moments, and this is a health talk. So, where I get a chance to engage with you as well as answer some questions that you might have and also give you what's the buzz or some information based on health topics. So, like I said, I had a question. I'm trying to find it so I can see. It came from a wise woman named Sharana, and she had asked about diabetes. So let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find it here. If you give me 1 second, here it is. So the question was, can a diabetic diagnosis change to not needing injections or medication? If so, how can that happen? Now, so I was talking about first of all, that's a very, very good question because a lot of people don't understand that you can go off of medication as a diabetic. Now, see, one of the things I tell patients all the time, first and foremost, is that diabetes is definitely, I would say, quote unquote, I'm gonna go with quote unquote curable. Let me tell you why. So I did see in my experience where I had someone who I was able to the person had, and I've seen this a couple of times in different sectors where they actually drank or ate a lot of sugar for like 3 months, I would say. And when they went to go get their A1C check, now, if you don't want to know what an A1C is, an A1C is the glycemic index. It's an average of the last 3 days of, oh, I'm sorry, 3 months is an average of 3 months of your blood sugar in real time. So, what does that mean? That means that, and you probably notice if I'm preaching to the choir, please forgive me, but 3 months of what your blood sugar will look like on a day-to-day basis. So that means if you pricked your finger, think about, I'll put it this way, think about when you were in school, right? And you had to do an average. So you had to do an average of your grades, right? When you do an average of your grades, you get an average. So if you had 70, 72, 73, 74, 75, right? And you listed them and you added them all up and you divided it by 5, right? You get an average. So that's exactly what an A1C does. It's an average. So every day, that would be the average of what your blood sugar is every day. And we take that number and we look at it and we say, okay, so based on your A1C, if it was 6%, 7.5%, 7%, whatever, we know that daily you're running an average of like 126, 127. I'm just throwing numbers out there. You can fact check me. I'm not giving you the exact um, number that's equivalent, okay? Because you get some people out here and they say, oh, she wasn't right. She didn't say it that way. So I'm telling you just to give you a clue of what it is, just give you the concept of it, okay? So, anyway, so with that, all right, it's an average. And so when we see that number, that's what it does. So basically, um, what happens is when you're doing that with diabetics, so some people over the past 3 months, they ate a lot of complex carbs. So they drink a lot of the bad sugars, okay? Bad sugar products, bad, sodas. We talking like sodas with high sugar content, juices with high sugar content. We used to drink a long time ago, because we're talking about Black History Month. And I know a lot of Black people and people that are not of color. So we drink Kool-Aid. And we drink Kool-Aid. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I would pour a lot of sugar in the Kool-Aid. So I would just go back on and on and on with the white sugar, right? In the Kool-Aid, just pour packing it on just to make it sweet, right? Because we did not like Kool-Aid that was bitter. Anyway, so I don't think anybody could drink Kool-Aid. Remember Tang? Tang was also. I'm sorry, I just had to go because I remember Tang, and Tang was really good. But anyway, so in that instance, what was I talking about? Okay, I was talking about type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes, they ended up testing, and their A1C, of course, was like 13%, 12%, 11%, which is very, very high. That means on a daily, and I've seen A1Cs which were off the chart. Okay. That means unreadable. That means we don't even know the number. That's how high the blood sugar is every day. So we're talking 400, 500, almost in like a coma range every day. Right. And so is that person a diabetic? That's the number one question. Would you classify? Absolutely. It's a diagnosis. It gives us as physicians a way to say this person has a condition that we can treat. It identifies the condition. Okay. So will it stick with you? I'm going to say yes. You know why? Even though it was that one time, because now we can say there's a thing called what we call hyper. So we mean that blood sugar is high. So hyper. So remember when someone has ADHD, right? And they're hyper, they go, so they're high, or if somebody is like on drugs, on crack, or whatever, and or they get a high, so they become hyper in those cases. So hyper, high, right? So hyperglycemia. So it's high, right? So it's high. So diabetes would definitely do that. Now we can go into a breakdown of where the root was of diabetes, and DI, was it DI and B and ETS, whatever. Okay. The bottom line is it's a condition, it's named diabetes, and we'll give that to you if your A1C is off the chart, your blood sugar. Now there have been probably a lot of evidence-based medicine, a lot of evidence-based medicine and evidence-based um, um, talks, of course, of diabetes and, you know, um, whether or not, if a person has diabetes, a person doesn't, what classifies it. Okay, we can go into all that, but I'm giving you the Reader Digest version. Okay, something that's so simple so you don't feel like your doctor is giving you so much information that you can't even understand it. Like your hair is standing on top of your head, like, "Ee." All right. No, this is very dumbed down for you. Okay. So, anyway, basically the bottom line is that you're given that diagnosis so that we can identify the condition. A lot of times too, we do give you a diagnosis and sometimes it doesn't even stick on your record, so it's not really there, it's just an identifier so that we'll know that it's something wrong. So what it does is it tells us that yes, your body, your pancreas has been overworked. Remember I just said that your pancreas was overworked. It was overworked that it ended up shutting down. It told you that it was you're too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much for me. You're doing too much. And I don't like it. And I'm not going to work like I'm supposed to because that you did too much. You gave yourself too much. That's your limit. That's your threshold. Now, everything has a threshold. If you think about a cup, right? And you have water and you fill up the water, you can't fill the cup but so much. Okay. If you want more, you get a bigger cup. Unfortunately, you get one pancreas. Okay. We don't get three different pancreas. You get one liver. Okay. We don't get three and four livers. Now, some of you guys, you can work miracles and you know who you are. And I'm sure you can grow yourself another pancreas. You do whatever you need to do, and create another pancreas or create another liver. But the standard person gets one. And whatever you do with it, that's his limit. Everybody is different. Make sense, right? Makes sense. Makes sense. So, in any event, once you get the diagnosis, we should keep it there. Why? It's a good warning. It's a good warning to us to say, look, yes, you have diabetes, but the nice thing about it is we do have the option of saying now it's controlled. So, controlled means that now you are working with your body and your pancreas and your liver, and they're saying, okay, yay, we're happy. We all work together again. Okay. So even if your A1C went down to 4, okay, and you're walking around with 4, should we remove the diagnosis? I don't think you should. Not saying that we have to walk around calling you a diabetic. No, we don't even have to say that. If you don't want to say that, fine. But I'm telling you, it's a good identifier to let us know that, boom, if you decide again to work against your body, boom, there it is. So you will be called a controlled diabetic, which is still proper because it is. If controlled is controlled. In any event, so now with type 1 diabetes, in there and type 2, because you can have insulin to use for type 2 and insulin to use for type 1. I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, you're not asking my opinion, but if you did ask my opinion, I would tell you what I like to do, but I'm not going to give that much to you. You will have to schedule some time with me for that. But just wanted to let you know that yes, you can stop medication. You can taper down medication in instances. Absolutely. Medication is not always set. Now, there are medications that are life sustaining, and we'll get into that later. Okay. If I get another questions and people are asking later, yes, we can get those, you can come off medications. It is possible. I have done it. You can eliminate medications. It is possible. I have done it. So, absolutely, with that, with diabetes, insulin you may not, um you know you can taper off of. In fact, I did experience this and I've seen this around where there were people that were actually, they found out that they were allergic to insulin. Hmm. And so they couldn't use it, but they still needed something for their pancreas, right? So because their pancreas wasn't working very well or their blood sugar was too high. And if, again, you got to remember, and a lot of people know this, and, I'm not telling you something that you don't know. So this is not new, but too much of anything, of course, is not good. If you have it all the time, every day, all the time, too much of it is going to be bad for you. So yes, you can eat sugar. We do need it because the brain functions actually with sugar. It's one of the components that helps our brain to operate well. So I'm not saying, and doctors aren't saying, or physicians aren't saying, or people aren't saying don't eat sugar. It's not that. It's just, how are you doing it? Are you working with your pancreas? Are you working with your liver? I'm going to give you that tidbit. So in that instance, yes, you can come off the medication. Now, when it comes to, that's more so with like the type 2, or even with the people that are type, like a 1B, those variations, okay? Um, or like, maybe even a person who has a liver problem and they have diabetes because of a liver problem, because you can have diabetes from a liver problem. Now, I didn't say that in the other video, but you can. I've seen it and we know it. So, on the flip side of that, the type 1s, that's where you're getting a little shaky. Why? Because again, in type 1, majority, if not all, and I'm sure there are variations, and any endocrinologist could probably give you the variation. Okay. That, I will say, you would have to, that would be a question for the endocrinologist. If we were to talk together, we could actually sit down and go through how you would present that to get the information that you needed from your endocrinologist, right? So you would book a session with me for that, so that we can talk more about it. But in all, in generalization, yes, type 1 diabetes, there may be a little caveat to, can you stop the medication? Because in those instances, technically you don't really have the machinery to break down the sugar. Remember, you're not creating what you need to now break down the sugar. All right. So, just wanted to at least answer that question. I think that was a great question, and I really thank you for it. I was trying to give some people some more time to come in and see if there's another question. I want to see if I answered both of them, because I know she had two, but I'll look. Let me see. When it looks like, I think that was, I was looking to see. No, I can't find the other one. So at least we answered that one. Maybe later we'll get another one. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to take it, since I don't see anyone, that you guys don't have any questions, which is fine, because I know the questions will come. I'm going to address the questions here. I'm probably not going to address them if you ask. I'll keep it, but I'll probably redirect you to join the health talks. So I'm going to be doing a series of these talks, and I want you to come in and actually chat with me so we can chat together on these talks. And I'm probably going to actually, thinking about it, maybe we'll see. I'll think about it. Got a lot of things to think about, but in any event, I hope that helped you today. This is Black History Month. So one of the things I wanted to just share as well was about some of the diseases that can affect African Americans. And there are a host of them. Okay. And one of the things I wanted to give you a generalization of is that when you have this particular condition or disease, and they say that it's culturally based, right? I think it's one of the things we have to be careful with culturally based diseases. We do see them in a particular family line, okay? But the family line could actually be from a lot of different places. So let me give you an example. We have a person that was just, I had, if you just did your ancestry, okay? You did your ancestry, you found out you were a mixture of different cultural backgrounds, right? And a lot of times there's a generalization in that particular culture, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and one of the things I did say in one of my old Black History videos, go take a look at it. I was speaking about how Black history is not just people of color. Let me tell you why. With now the advent of DNA and genetics, and we're able to identify now regions where people are from, people of color can be in different regions. It could just the melanin, the pigment of the skin makes a person of color. And so we have this rich tradition, of course, with honoring people of color, but one of the things we didn't know back then, what we know now was the DNA concept, right? And so now people are from different regions and they're from different places. So Black History Month is so comprehensive. When you say that, it's not just, people with darker pigmented skin. It can be people with lighter pigmented skin that have a Black history. So think about that. And that's something that I wanted to share with you. So when it comes to genetics and when it comes to conditions and certain conditions and trends that we see in medicine and trends that we see in health and how our bodies are and how our bodies respond, it can be culturally based. It's and if you are aware of your background and where you come from, it makes sense. It You see that particular trend in that particular population of people. And so it may not be just a Black people condition or a Black person's disease. You may see it more in this particular people, but they may not be technically people of color per se. Could they just all be from a certain region? So it's kind of iffy when it comes to that. I tend to see a lot of different conditions in people I've never even thought that could have it. And I'll see the trend in that particular group of people and I'm like, wow, because of that region, or maybe it's because all of those people eat that particular type of food, or maybe in their food preparation and how they were raised, or whatever the issue is. So I wanted to present that out there. I wanted to kind of share that and help you to think about that. I think Black history is so rich. That gives us more of a world view and more of a world understanding and a global effort of understanding what Black history is about, what people of color have endured. And, a lot of it, of course, our tradition comes from what happened from the past, all of the detriments as well as all of the victories that we've overcome and things we had to, because when things were based on their skin color, which it's still happening no matter what, wherever you go and whatever region you go into, wherever you are going to have a class system. It just happens. It can be because of where you live, it can be because of what you look like, it can be because of what you smell like. So it's always, but Black history, what I love about it too, it shows you the achievements. It shows you the way that has been paved because of, one particular, can I say, being oppressed a group of people being oppressed, but overcoming that oppression and still being able to achieve a lot, and showing you the gifts and the talents of people who do have a little bit more pigment in their skin or a little bit more melanin in their skin. Okay. And they are rich and beautiful, and it creates a sense of understanding. So I'm just so happy because I come from a very rich and diverse family of multiple cultures, which is nice. Okay. When I look at my culture and I look at my background, it is so colorful, so beautiful. I it makes me happy to be African American. Okay. It makes me totally happy, because of the colorful and richness of my background. And kudos to my family. Okay. Um, I don't know about yours, but kudos to mine. So happy Black History Month. So I wanted to, with that, just give, some thank yous to, first of all, those that are subscribing. I want to say thank you. There have been people, they're coming to me, they're giving me so much good feedback, so much honest opinion, so much. I'm so overwhelmed by the love that you're giving me and you're showing me to do this effort and this initiative, which I think is so important. And to honor me, to know that I have the knowledge and the understanding to be able to deliver that to you in the best way, that so you can understand. Okay. And so I want to first thank the subscribers. Let me tell you, you guys are awesome. You guys are so good. And you are just so instrumental. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting me with your healthcare needs. And I gotta find a way to honor you, to reward you. Because I really do thank you. Um, the other people I want to thank, the other person, I did have a family member of mine who honored me for Black History Month and called me a trailblazer. And I appreciate that. I appreciate him. He goes by the name of Eddie Basic Beats. He goes by Basic Beats, and he is good with his beats. He's a good music producer, and I'm so proud of him. And I've seen him grow. And I remember some things when we were younger, and I don't know why. Let me tell you something. And that's how the brain works. Okay. The brain works where you hear like music in your brain. Do you ever hear music in your brain? Now, look, don't listen to the voices, because the voices, especially if they're negative voices, are not good. But I just want to, you hear music, and you know how certain songs stick with you. So I remember when we were younger, uh, we went to the movies. I can share this. I hope he doesn't kill me, but we went to the movies, and I think it was a group of us, family members, and we were walking down the street, and he had us all in going down the street singing a particular song, right? And that song, to this day, that's the one way I always remember him growing up, is because of that song. So him being in the music, that it's amazing. Let me tell you, gift and talents do function in the bloodline or in the genetics. It's a genetic thing, it's a trend. Okay. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. So I don't know why it stuck with me. I guess because he's one of my buddy old pals, and I have a lot of buddy old pals. So don't anybody feel like I'm not buddy old pal with you, okay? But I just want you to know that I thank you for honoring me. That was not expected. I'm overwhelmed by your love, and I do want to be a trailblazer to help people. I want to be a pioneer, and all the people that I have been able to help or even support. I hope you're still thriving, you're still healthy, you're still moving, and you're doing well. Because I'm thinking about you, or, if I don't remember you, please forgive me. I'm good with remembering most of the people. Sometimes I'm not, but if I come across you and I do, I hope you're still thriving because you met me. And that's what my purpose here on this earth is to make you a better person, is to help you to be a better person. And that's how I live my life, and that's how I live every day. So, in any event, I'll continue to do this. The next one will be Super Bowl Sunday. I got a little bit of ideas for the Super Bowl, some little health talks about the Super Bowl. And if possible, I might feature a few people here and there and get some things said. So look out for that. It's going to be pretty cool and awesome. And during that time, I would love to see how you are, and hear what you have to say, maybe even some questions on how to get, things done. But one of the things I wanted to tell you is just make sure we could talk about some food alternatives. We could talk about some things you can do to make sure, you protect yourself, screen eyes, protect yourself with the alcohol, that kind of thing. Because I know it's going to be a big game day. And I don't know what fan you are, but I'm not telling you my team, okay? Only people that know me know my team. And I'm going to keep it like that. All right? I'm going to keep it like that. You're not going to get that out of me. All righty. Let me get ready to go, but it was been great. This health talk has been wonderful. And again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, My Medical Moments, Dr. Luella Ioka. Hope I didn't keep you too long. Hope you didn't fall asleep on me. And I hope I made you laugh. And I hope you had a happy, healthy day. I will see you tomorrow and just wish you and bid you a farewell with another health tip. And you have a wonderful night, because I know I will.